I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on the Gourd circle Christmas ornaments, and we're going to be doing different videos on showing you different ones, but we're starting out with the basics to show you what we're starting with. And we're going to take our circular saw and cut our pieces out of our gourd and then sand them down nice and flat on the back as well as we can. And what we decided to do, since a lot of you have a harder time making these, we've also done kits for you that are going to be available on my site. We're going to have a blue kit, and then we're also going to have a black kit for you as well. And what I used was leather pieces, leather strip, and leather backing, just so you can have a nice, crisp, clean ornament. And I'll explain the different materials as we're doing it as well, so if you have them at home that you can use your own. So let's get started. This one we're working on our Christmas wreath, and I really like this one. Another cute idea would be to turn this into a necklace, and you would just follow exactly what we do. Jump on over to another video that I have that shows you how to do the twice melted into necklaces and finish them up. Now we're going to start with a 2.5 inch gourd circle, and I'm going to warm it up, and I'm going to be using my stipple brushes to apply the wax, and you can find those on the website. If this is your first time seeing the process and you're not sure how we do the wax, please jump over to miriamjoy.com, hit the YouTube video, and the first video that will pop will be the basics of the wax technique, and it'll show you all the tools and all the basics. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our heat gun and we're going to warm up our gourd shard. And as you can see, I have it on a hanger that is secure onto the side of my table. It was actually a plant hanger. You can use the ones that are for the Dremels as well. Those look really, really good. So I've already had my brush warming up, and I'm using, for this first layer, I am using Dandelion Yellow. And by heating this up, you can see it lets the wax go on nice and smooth, which is different than how we normally do it. So we're going to let this guy cool, and we're actually going to come in here and put a second layer. And my second layer is going to be gold metallic, and it's going to give it that nice sparkle as well as help our layering here. So a lot of times when I'm working in the summer, I have a fan going as well to kind of cool off, because you want this totally dry. Otherwise, your brush marks are going to scratch on it, and we don't want that to happen. And it's still a little bit warm. When you're working with white or any color like that, you may need a second layer as well. And we're going to go ahead and put this on. And see how that covered so much better now with the second coat. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and smooth this and get rid of all the lines. And then when we're heating, we always start on the outside first because it takes the longest for it to warm up. And then we start going towards the center. You don't want to blow it around, you just want to get it all evenly heated. And now we have that nice piece for background to work on. So we're going to let this cool for a minute. And I'm doing about 5 or 6 of these Christmas ornaments, so take a look at them. They're a lot of fun. I also have the twice melted technique in jewelry, and you could even do that if you wanted to. You could do leopard spots or zebra stripes for Christmas ornaments for friends that like that as well. So jump over to those videos and look at those and see if you like those. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our green now, and with the stipple brush, I don't want too much wax, and I've heated up my brushes, and I have a lot of wax in them. So what I'm going to do, see, we would just get a glob. So we're going to pounce it off until we start to get it separated here. And we're just going to pounce this in a circle until we start to get the shape that you like. If you get a glob, come back in with your brush and just pounce it some more. That's okay. And we'll kind of pick that back up. Now I'm going to set my brush just on top of my pot, not down into the wax. That keeps me from picking up as much wax on that second layer. And we want this a little bit full. We want it to look like it's got layers and it's not see-through. Make sure you don't leave your brush things in there. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my yellow green. When you dry your brush out after you've used the wax, kind of pull it together and smooth it all out, and it'll kind of keep it from getting wild and crazy like that brush. Now we want some lighter green on top. Give it more dimension. Okay, now I'm lower here, so I'm going to put my bow up there, and I'm going to be using my wax design tool for the bow. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is making my little loop, and I'm using my 0 tool, the larger end, and then I'm going to make the first half of the bow, and then I'm going to come in underneath that and make that second half of that bow. So I'm going to go over here and do the same thing. And I am going to switch to a little bit larger one here and make your ribbon. And I'm going to flip it and use my 0 end. And we're going to come in and just put some little lines. Got my paper on there. Up here on our bow. And I'm going to come in here and do one more. Okay, let's give this guy some dots for its holly berries. And I'm just going to again load it with the number 1, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put 1 up there. If you think it needs just 1 here and there, just give it 1 here and there. There's no right or wrong on that. If you want to make them different colors, make them different colors, however you want to do it. But that's really, really simple. So we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish it up. Now that our wax is cool, we're going to take our hobby knife and we're going to take off any wax on the sides. Remove all of that. Now it's going to be stained, so you're still going to be some color, so don't worry about that. We just want the wax off. Hopefully if you did it right, you shouldn't have a bunch of wax on there. Remember, if you don't like what you have and you melted it, just wipe it off and start all over. We're going to apply our Dimensional Magic. You can use a 3D lacquer on this, but I like the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more durable over time. I like the 3D lacquer more for the Christmas bulbs. I think it's a little bit thinner. The first thing I want to do that most of you might not know is kind of a trick that I have used for a long time. I take my brush and I wet it. And then I dry it out. There's a couple of reasons that we do that. Now it's more pliable. It's not hard and stiff. But not only that, is the Mod Podge doesn't have to absorb all the way in now, and it just works better. So I do that with a lot of things when I'm doing certain things. So it may be something to help you remember. Now, Mod Podge is made to go on jewelry and be nice and thick, and our gourds are always uneven, so we've got to apply it on with a brush, not just put it on and leave it. So the first thing I do is go around the edges, and I take my brush and I throw it at you. And we're going to get it up against the edges. Now you're not really pushing down, you're just spreading with your brush. Doing that nice and even all the way around. And wipe off anything that gets onto the edges. You want to keep those nice and clear. And then we're going to come back and we're going to pour more of that. Now if we did it like you normally would and just fill it in, it would run off. I think I need just a tad bit more. So what we're actually doing with our brush, and you want a brush that is not coarse, you're just kind of moving it around and applying it more evenly to the piece. You shouldn't be able to see your brush strokes. If you can see your brush strokes, you don't have it on thick enough, and you do not want to over apply it. Once you put it on, you should just be able to see them kind of settle down. And I'd like to do 2 to 3 coats, and I'm going to set it on my dry board to dry. We do have dry boards in stock now. Clean off my Dimensional Magic and put that away. Once your Dimensional Magic is dry, you're going to see this really beautiful shine. See how it go from dull to shine? It just really brings out the color and just really does so much for it. And the Dimensional Magic is really great to work with, and we do sell that on our website. So now that we've done our Dimensional Magic, we're going to come in here and we're going to paint our edges with black acrylic paint. Black is a great background color. It helps take things backwards that you don't want to show and sets the front forward. And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do the edges because I'm going to put my leather piece on. Now, if you don't have a leather piece, you can just paint this black. That's okay. Whatever you want to do. And the other thing I do is once you've got that black on there, just come back in and with a damp paper towel, we're going to remove the black just along the edges where it doesn't belong. If you got any up there, like I always do. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And once that's dry, keep your fingerprints and everything off of this and your glue. That's kind of fun. We're going to decide. I'm going to come back in and get that all off in a minute here. Which way to hang this. And I'm going to kind of hang it like that because it almost looks like a Christmas tree right there. So I'm going to put my leather piece around my gourd first, and I'm using my big bottle of tacky glue that my husband got for me. I need to get my little teeny tiny ones that we have for sale on our website. I don't know where mine is right now, but they're little tiny handy sizes and they're really, really nice. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put our leather strip on. Now, you want to put that on nice and tight all the way around. And then we're going to bring it up to the top. And I don't want those overlapping, but I do want them right where I'm going to push my hole. And you want the front of this just even with your gourd piece. You don't want it set back. Now your gourd isn't even, so you want this towards the front, not towards the back. So it's all nice and even on the front. And I'm going to take my little scissors here and I'm going to cut this right where they touch. You don't want to leave a hole there. All right, and then I'm going to take my bead reamer and I'm going to go right in the middle of there. And the bead reamer is another item that we started carrying at Miriam Joy because I've been working with it so much. And I'm going to take my screw eye, smallest one I could find, and I'm going to add just a tad of tacky glue to it. Now the reason that we put the leather strap on first, the leather strip, instead of last, is it gives us a little bit more stability for our screw eye here. Gives it more to hold on to. Screw that in. Now when I poked my hole, I only poked it just so I could get it started, only about halfway down. We don't want it to go too far. And when you're tightening it, you don't want to strip it. You want to go to a certain place and kind of stop. And you guys, if you've seen the jewelry ones, I will also put the sequin pins in place right there to hold that leather piece in place. Now again, I'm going to come in here and clean up the mess I've made. And you can let it dry in between too. You don't have to do it like I did because I'm just trying to get you all the way down here. But not really pretty. Just can't believe that they're crayons. That's so much fun. Alright, now we're going to take our cording or whatever you want to hang it on, and we're going to go through our screw eye and we're going to do one knot up here. And you can add bows to these. I have some little holly that I might want to put on my holly one. Little bows, whatever you wanted to do to make it nice and fun would be really, really pretty as well. So that's how we kind of finish them off. Now let's go back and let's get our back piece on if you want it. Now, one of the nice things is this is kind of fuzzy, and I like this, and I think it looks really nice, and I think it would feel good for jewelry, but it gets a little bit dirty faster. And also, if you did it where the other part, you can write on it. And I wrote on one of them, and I put like Merry Christmas, Miriam Joy 2013. So that's something you might want to think about too, which side of the leather piece that you may want to use. And I really like the leather instead of material because it is a little bit stretchy. So if I'm shorter on one area, I can pull it out and put it in. And to get the circle, I just take it on my leather and I take my white charcoal pencil and just trace around my piece and then cut on the white inside. If any of it sticks out, just take your little scissors and trim it off. But then you have a very professional looking piece, very nice piece that you can give to other people for Christmas, and that looks very professionally done. Now see how the glue got into the fuzzy side, and that's what I was talking about. But we do have the kits available for you. We do have the 3-inch and the 2.5 inch and the blue and the black, just to make it simple for you this holiday season. And that is how we do our twice melted circular Christmas ornaments. If you have any questions about these at all, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. Jump over and just see all the wonderful YouTube videos we're doing for you this holiday season. Merry Christmas and God bless.